Well, as Africans, we kind of like the comfort zone, Even when trying to bring a new piece of tech to the space, we are way too comfortable with what we have. That's why in most cases, we are not innovators. In most cases, we are adopters of the different technologies. When it comes to agriculture, we have a lot of solutions right now and the backlog that we're trying to put out there, but the infrastructure doesn't support a lot of innovations that we want to put out there. I wouldn't say I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an innovator first before entrepreneurship. We just love solving problems. I'm an innovator myself. I don't have anything around innovation if it doesn't put us in harm's way. Even around AI, people have this idea that AI is here to kill us, AI is here to take our jobs and all that. I don't have anything around those for as long as the necessary policies are put in place. But also for us as innovators, we have to be agile enough around everything that we do. I can build a very good solution that I feel like is good as an engineer, right? When I put it in the market wants something else.
Today we're here with Tumo Kgabeng. The man is the man. The man is the man.
Yeah, we do try.
Yeah, man, welcome to the show. But how you doing?
Thanks for having me, brother.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Deep Dive Sessions. Thank you for stopping by for another amazing episode. Man. Today we're here with Tumo Kgabeng, a man that I've, I saw you, a friend of mine hit me up the first time I came in contact with you. A friend of mine hit me up. She's like, hey, you should have him on the podcast. And actually, she's more like a sister to me, like a younger sister. Then I looked at the DM. I'm like, oh, Tumo Kgabeng, Anton Tech. And I went through it. I'm like, oh, the man is the man. The man is the man.
Yeah, we do try.
Yeah, man, welcome to the show. Man, how you doing?
Thanks for having me, brother.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Hey, it's been a long time coming. Just researching you is actually it's a toy in and of itself. Literally. It was a toy. I was like, this guy's doing these things. So, man, first of all, I think let's just start here, man. Because you have done amazing things, you still do amazing things.
Thanks, man.
Anon Tech is your company, and you have been in this space for some time. Just kindly let us know just about Anon Tech and what is it you do, the amazing things that you do,
All right, but thanks for having me once again.
Yes,
man.
Sir.
But yeah, it's Anon Tech, and Anon Tech is not just me. With all the crazy things that we do.
Yeah.
There's a team that I work with. There's a team behind us. Yeah. So Anon Tech was started by just 3 engineers. There was no one from the business background.
Yeah.
So it was just engineers crazy enough to try something else.
Did you guys start in a garage also?
That's pretty much it. Yeah. That's before we even partnered with the Innovation Hub, the Innovation Fund. But crazy story, the way it started. Anon Tech and Project Anton started from a hackathon project. So yeah. Took part in a hackathon, we won the hackathon, and then after that we had a lot of guys approaching us on how we can scale up the solution. Because even back then it was just son of Anton, from the TV show Silicon Valley. So that was the motive
so the
behind
name comes
it.
from.
Exactly.
Okay.
The guy Guilfoyle developed an AI agent called the son of Anton. So we called the son of Anton. There was I think the services that we had back then was just around asking questions and real-time disease detection. We had built our own in-house deep learning model, trained it on a couple of images, and then deployed it. Won the hackathon. But after a lot of people approached us on how we can scale up to now accommodate a lot of people, accommodate other customer segments and other sectors out there. That's when we now went back to the drawing table. So they came the project first before the company. So that's when there was never a plan of starting a company. It was just innovators coming together. I wouldn't say I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an innovator first before entrepreneurship.
Right.
So our passion, and we just loved solving problems. Give us a problem, we try to come together, mind map, brainstorm around that, see the kind of solutions that we can put out there to solve that particular problem. So that's basically what happened with Project Anton. The first version was built in less than 24 hours. After that, that's when we came back to the drawing table.
Less than 24 hours? That's crazy,
pretty
man.
much.
That's crazy.
It was less than because here's the thing. I think this what applies to like building a company too. Whoever
Yeah.
you are partnering with, whoever you are working with, you need to understand each other. You need to understand each other's skill set, how someone operates, how someone works,
Yeah.
But the people that came together to bring up Anon Tech and Project Anton, we've worked together before through developer communities. We've had conversations. We've got to understand each other's skill set. We've got to understand each other's elasticity when it comes to innovation. Right?
Yeah.
So when it came to that, we just had a problem statement. But usually what happens during hackathons, they usually like a theme or problem statement that put out there. We like develop solutions around this one. But for this particular hackathon, there wasn't just one problem statement.
Okay.
But the theme itself was basically developing solutions for the problems in your community or problems in Africa. So that's when now we decided to choose for agriculture, but other people develop solutions across like other sectors. Yeah. Like for like road safety and all that. But we chose agriculture. I mean, agriculture is something that we grew up witnessing, even our parents,
For sure.
our brothers and sisters being much involved in the agriculture space. So that's, I mean, right now we could take agriculture and mining, even tourism. Those are like the three sectors that are,
and
it's
beef.
more like and beef, more like the baseline for our economy, even for most countries in sub-Saharan Africa. So it wasn't much of a problem selecting which sector to focus on, So that's when we decided to focus on agriculture, develop the first version. Then after we went back to a drawing table, and then it was three of us coming together, seeing how we can scale up, seeing how we can expand just beyond disease detection. I mean, two of us, myself and Kesero, our undergrad is in computer systems engineering with the University of Sunderland, right?
Yeah, you did that.
Exactly. And then with Tlamelo Makati, who's our research lead, her background, her undergrad is in mechatronics engineering with BUST. So she was well-versed in drones and robotics. We were well-versed in building AI models and basically developing software solutions, all the three of us. So we came together, developed this.
Dope.
And then I think like a year into that, that's when now we approached the Botswana Digital Innovation Hub and the Botswana Innovation Fund with our proposal, with what we had. So what we had, the MVP that we had back then, it was services around real-time disease detection for like crops and livestock.
Real-time what?
Disease detection, pest and disease detection actually. Getting weather insights. So it was basically building, so we've built our own in-house deep learning model, like I mentioned, which could, it's more like similarity search, like take a picture just from WhatsApp, because we build the model and for us to put it out there to users, we used our conversational AI. So we used WhatsApp. A lot of people are already using WhatsApp.
For sure.
So it's basically, for you to talk to me on WhatsApp, you need to have my phone number. Just save a phone number and then you start interacting with it. So we had those three services when approaching the Innovation Hub. We had the conversational AI agent and the analytics platform, where all this data, it has to go somewhere. It has to be usable in a way, right? Then went there, approached them with that, and then told them what we plan on integrating. We didn't even have drones back then. The drone technology that we plan on integrating, the satellite imagery, they're all expanding into the different customer segments that we have right now. Because currently, as it is right now, we're building out solutions for almost every key player involved in the agriculture value chain. Whether you are a developer, innovator, researcher, agronomist, maybe around government policies, any key player that is involved, because it's not just about the farmers, even the pharmaceuticals, we have the solutions for those, even the commercial banks. So we have the solutions for those. We gave the Innovation Hub our proposal. They liked the proposal, and then we managed to get funding and support from the Innovation Hub. I think we've been working together for like 3 years now. Anon Tech has been in operation for 4 years, like 2 months now.
Okay.
So for the past 3 years, we've been working with the Innovation Hub to scale up, to even cater for the different customer segments out there. But that's like the brief background about Anon Tech and how we got here.
Dope, man. Hey, y'all just started with the project. Guys, let's get to this.
That's pretty much it. I mean, the interest was just around solving the problem.
Now, that's very interesting, man. And so, okay, you already answered also the issue as to why you got into agriculture. Let's break it down now. You're with 3 partners, which we'll get into. Two partners, I mean, and in total,
Yes,
you're
like
three.
the three of us. Yeah.
Yes. So, what specific AI are you leveraging in your solutions? Let's just kind of like walk us through that for just somebody that's not familiar with exactly how you're doing it. Just walk us through that.
All right. So AI itself is huge, right? Currently, even for us to be where we are right now, we have established a pretty solid footprint. We have a lot of partners in the market, including tech giants. Like we have our partnerships with Microsoft for startups, NVIDIA for NVIDIA Inception, MongoDB for startups. So these are the guys who we even leverage the technical expertise from these guys. But when it comes to Anon Tech, AI itself is huge, like mentioned, but we specialize more on deep learning. Anton Tech is a research company. Yeah, so deep learning. So we have AI, which more like the umbrella that covers all these subsets, like your machine learning, deep learning. We have reinforcement learning, but our focus is more on deep learning, on the technologies that come with deep learning. So deep learning is a subset of machine learning. It's like AI, and then machine learning be a subset of AI itself. We have different solutions around machine learning, and then we have deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning.
Okay, so just kind of like differentiate those two, because I know there's something that is, even for me, I had to actually read this before. I interviewed, deep learning and machine learning and just what they are and just fully differentiate them.
Right. But so what we have leveraged on our end, like we have different technologies that we've brought together, right? For us to be able to give you the solutions that you see out there. We have different solutions for extracting the different patterns around images. We use convolutional neural networks. We even leverage large language models that exist out there, like your Llama 2, your Llama 3, your GPT-4s. So there's a lot of technical terms that are brought together. So when it comes to deep learning, the services that we put out there, like extracting insights from satellite imagery, from drone imagery, deep learning is good for
so it's pulling
like
information
those.
from.
Exactly. So we have currently we're building knowledge graphs, right? And then we also work with something called like vector databases. So vector databases, like a database with different data points, be it documents, published papers, images in those. So like what you do when it comes to image detection, for like disease detection through just image analysis, you take a picture, just like I mentioned, we put the solution out there through WhatsApp. So just from your WhatsApp camera that you are used to, either take the picture through that, or you can upload it from your phone just through WhatsApp, the same way you'd send me a picture on WhatsApp. So you take a picture through that, and then we can send that picture through a vector database to do a similarity search. So from all the different images that we have, we can do a similarity search to see if I'm saying this particular image shows you this disease, or this is this pest, what is it exactly that I'm looking for? So those are different data points that I'm extracting from those images for me to be able to mesh it with this other image that is already labeled. So deep learning is very good when it comes to tasks like those. And then we have the images that you take with your phone, and then we have the images from the drones. So currently, like I didn't mention, when you first started, we didn't even have services around drone scouting. But right now we have our own in-house drones that we use. So from those drone pictures, because when you go to your farm, we take a lot of pictures across your farm. So we just basically set a mission bed like 50 hectares, 100 hectares, and then we take thousands of pictures across the farm. After that, we reconstruct all those into one map. So we usually call it the Google Maps of farming. So we can collect those thousands of pictures across different farms, and then we reconstruct to have an aerial view of your farm. So through that aerial view, we're able to extract the different data points that might be needed. If you need to understand your soil organic carbon levels, your soil drainage, slope, whichever data point that you'd like to identify from all those, we extract those data points. That's where now the deep learning technology comes into play. So it's very good when it comes to tasks like extracting the different similarities between images. And then also, like I did mention, one of the services that we have is being able to assist you with any question that you might have, or a step-by-step process of whatever you might to understand. So you can basically build your own irrigation plan just from sending a simple prompt. So you can be as specific as you want. I need an irrigation plan for this. I'm in this location. And then because we are in a particular location, we already have weather insights around that particular location. We have real-time information of what's happening, what are the trends in that location.
Okay.
We can build you a custom irrigation plan just in real time. You send a prompt, we give you that irrigation plan.
Okay, so all of this, you managed to get that through deep learning.
Yeah, so
And
we leverage deep learning and large language models. Large language models, the different technologies that power the famous ChatGPT,
Yes.
The famous Bard or Google Gemini, Bing Chat. So we have a lot of solutions that are built around large language models, but these are more like the famous ones that a lot of people are already accustomed to. But there's a lot of solutions that can be built around that. So what we do, we don't necessarily build large language models on our
You just
engines.
leverage what's there.
That takes a lot of work and a lot of data points around that.
Yeah.
So what we do on our end, take a large language model, and then we fine tune it to whichever use case that we need. So in this case, it will be for giving you the answers that you might need around anything that you'd like to understand in the agriculture space. So if you ask a question, then you'd like to understand something. So you send us a question, we send it through the large language model, and then we're able to answer that question. Even when doing disease detection. Once we extract the data points from the different images, we can run those, whichever data point that we've extracted, we can run those through the large language models to answer more questions before giving you the feedback.
Okay.
So we are pulling from all the different verified sources before we can provide you with the feedback. But all this, it happens in a near real time that you don't really have to wait for
It's like
2 seconds.
just like when you're
so it's
typing.
more like instant on your end.
But I wanted to take you a little bit back. I think you elaborately went into deep learning. Then for somebody like in layman terms, for machine learning, what then is the difference between these ones, this and this?
So just talking about machine learning itself, in layman terms, when you're talking about machine learning for someone who's not technical, it's basically training machines or computers to be able to perform the human level tasks.
To think like a human
Think
being.
like a human.
For sure.
That's basically it. So you're building your solutions to be able to assist with those everyday tasks, like your predictive analysis, classification. There's a lot of use cases and a lot of tasks that you're trying to, that you can accomplish through machine learning.
Okay. And so with the solutions we've been talking about, how then do you cater to the different types of farmers? We have large scale, small scale.
Exactly.
We have, that different. And I wouldn't know exactly. But actually, before we get to that, talk to me then about I would assume that, let me not assume, for somebody that's watching us and they want to understand, how then do you generate money with this? How do you make your money from this?
Okay. So currently, as it is right now, we have different solutions for the different key players that I mentioned earlier. So to paint you a picture, we have the one analytics dashboard where all the different components that we work with, they feed data to that one analytic platform. So we have data from the WhatsApp agent where people can do detection, can ask questions. It feeds the different logs, the different feedbacks that we give users. It feeds all those to the analytics platform. We also have the drone imagery. We take a lot of drone pictures. The drone pictures, after analysis, all that data, all those insights, they go to the platform. We have the satellite imagery. So we are utilizing the different tech giants like Google, like Planet Labs, to leverage the satellite data. Yeah. And then from that satellite data, we can extract a lot of insights, like I mentioned earlier, like your soil organic carbon, your drainage, your slope, whichever data point you'd like to extract, we can give you all that. Even your day-to-day monitoring of our farm of the different changes. So all those insights, they go to the platform. And then we also have our own API that we built in-house. This at Anton.
What is the API?
So Anon Tech itself is not a software development company, right? So we are trying to build a data bank or intelligence bank where the different innovators can leverage the intelligence that we have. So there's something called an API, application programmable interface. That's it's a piece of technology that basically links, if you're an innovator on your end, it links you, the innovator, to the data bank or the intelligence bank that you're trying to leverage. So in cases like maybe when trying to leverage the intelligence from OpenAI, I need to have that API that links me to OpenAI for me to pull those insights, for me to pull that data from OpenAI. So that different access levels or security levels that you can assign to your own API. You can secure it, you can make it public, anyone can pull from all that, or you can charge people for accessing data through that API.
Also, people, you charge people to access the data.
That's one component of it.
That's one component of
but
how
like
you
I did
monetize.
mention, what we are building is a data bank, right? And then we have the different customer segments. We have the different solutions for those different customer segments. So currently, even for the WhatsApp agent, it's a normal Botswana phone number plus 267, and then you get the phone number that you can access all that intelligence through WhatsApp. So currently, we're opening that up for the public to be able to utilize the WhatsApp agent through the WhatsApp number just free of charge.
You're opening it up.
The WhatsApp agent component.
And already
of
you're
it.
saying it's coming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's June, right? End of June, we'll be releasing the phone number so they can leverage all these intelligence that I've been talking about. And there's no sign up. What you need is just a phone number, and then you interact with the platform. Just send a simple hi, and then you get access to all the insights that I've been talking about.
Basically.
Yeah. So on the WhatsApp end, that one will be free for people to be using it. And then when it comes to the analytics dashboard, we have different customer segments that are leveraging the insights that we have. We have a lot of insights on the analytics dashboard. So we have commercial banks, we have the different parastatals, we have the researchers, the agronomists, the pharmaceuticals. So one other component that we have, when you do the disease detection, when you take a picture, send a picture, we're able to tell you the name of the disease, where it originates from, based on your location, what you can apply, and then whichever pesticide or herbicide that we're recommending that you can apply. We even are recommending, based on your location, where can you buy that? If I'm recommending that apply this particular herbicide and you are in Accelerate, for example, where can you buy that? What's the nearest pharmaceutical where you can buy it? So for us to have that data around the different chemicals, the different pesticides, the herbicides that are available in the market, we need to have a partnership with the different pharmaceuticals, right? So that's when the pharmaceuticals come into play. We're able to give recommendations based on what's already there in the market or in their inventory. So the different commercial banks, they need services like risk mitigation. During the funding process, even the farmers need risk mitigation for their farms. So the commercial banks, we have two different pricing models. They can either pay a fixed price to have access to everything, or they can buy credits, where you can buy bulk credits, and then we charge you based on the different requests that you make. Either generating a report, whichever action that you're performing on the platform, we charge you like 0.06 cents on that request. So we have these different customer segments that are paying to leverage the insights that we have based on the different use cases that they might have. And then for the developers themselves, the API is not out yet, but we'll soon be releasing it for them to leverage the intelligence that we already have, the real-time insights that we already have. Because one challenge that we are currently trying to resolve is around, because right now we have a lot of scientific data and scientific names around the different pests, the diseases out there. If you do a detection, I can give you the scientific name of a particular disease. So it needs to get to a point where if you're in Botswana, I should tell you the more like the customary name around that particular.
It wouldn't help with the scientific name.
Exactly.
It's gonna be.
So we're working towards that. So it has to get to a point where innovators and developers should leverage that the intelligence that we are trying to build. Because we're basically trying to build a knowledge graph, like I did mention, around the agriculture space. So through that API, they'll be able to leverage that, because like I did mention, we are not a software development company. If you have a software development company that's trying to bring an innovation in the agriculture space to the market out there, they can talk to us, connect to us, and then we give them access to the intelligence. So they pay for that API. Okay. So we have those different those are different customer segments that are paying to access insights. So it's basically paying for value for that data and the insights.
Yeah, I get that. And data is the most expensive thing, basically.
So the basis of everything that we do is data. There is no Anon Tech, there is no Project Anton without data.
Without data.
That's the basis of it.
Now that makes a lot of sense, man. So in your research, if you'd care to take us through this, what are some of the biggest challenges that are facing the agriculture sector mo Botswana honan? It could be as a whole, it could be individual farmers, what you have seen on the ground.
I think the one problem that it was one of the motives behind coming up with Project Anton that we usually put out there, the perennial pests and diseases problem. That's the major challenge that you're trying to solve right now across more like our research is around transboundary pests and diseases. So those pests and diseases that are from like outside the country that the scientists and the professionals might not know about as of yet.
Yeah.
So if you have agronomies that don't know about this particular pest, in most cases, we already have that data because we're pulling data from all over the world. So even if you are in China and you're doing a detection, we're able to give you feedback of the disease or the pest, whichever thing that you're trying to detect or whichever answer you're trying to, or whichever question you're trying to get an answer to, we can give you an answer to that. Our data is all over the world. So when it comes to sub-Saharan Africa, we're trying to resolve that problem
pests and diseases.
Of pests and diseases. And also when it comes to climate change, a lot of farmers, mostly the like small scale to medium scale farmers, don't have a lot of like climate resilient practices put in place. So a lot of these changes, like currently when it comes to like climate change, there's a lot of changes that come with that, a lot of pests, a lot of diseases that come with that's the same that adds to the transboundary pests and disease too. So our work is around the insights, it's around giving them values, around telling them what is it exactly that they should be focusing more on, giving them insights around precision farming. So when it comes to like climate change and putting those climate resilient practices in play, we're giving them insights around that for them to be able, I mean, even around GMOs. I was recently in the Pandamatenga area. There's a lot of like genetically modified plants that are out there. So you could see like sorghum, like the traditional sorghum that we're used to, it grows up to like a meter or two going up, right? But those ones they have, they're like very short, but they're rich and the soils up there are very rich, right? So
what are your thoughts on that?
On the GMs.
You gotta drink water for this first.
I don't want to catch smoke, man. But I'm an innovator myself. I don't have anything around innovation if it doesn't put us in harm's way, even around AI. You know, people have this idea that AI is here to kill us, AI is here to take our jobs and all that. Sure. I don't have anything around those for as long as the necessary policies are put in place. Even like taking AI, for example, if like the necessary privacy policies are put in place, I don't have anything around those. But maybe going back to the problems in the country, those are some of the problems that we are trying to resolve, giving them insights around the climate resilient practices that they should put in place, the sustainability practices that they should be exercising on their day-to-day farming practices. So we're trying to give them those. But just from an entrepreneur's perspective or an innovator's perspective, we have, when it comes to agriculture, we have a lot of solutions right now and the backlog that we're trying to put out there. But the infrastructure that is in play for us to, it's not really, the infrastructure doesn't support a lot of like innovations that we want to put out there for us to easily put them out there. Like having a solution like Project Anton, it doesn't necessarily need like internet coverage. Even if you have that, you know, these social media subscriptions that the network providers have, you can access Project Anton through it's basically WhatsApp. But we need network coverages in those different areas, in the very remote areas. We know a lot of very remote areas. Agriculture is the one that supports a lot of those remote areas. So if I have a solution that I was able to to like compile it into something that seems low level and trying to put it out there. The one problem I'm going to face first is the availability of infrastructure in that area. And in some cases, some people in those areas don't have like the smartphones to access.
Exactly.
To
Internet,
access
smartphones.
Exactly.
It's a challenge.
So that's where now the innovators like Anon Tech have to like hand in hand with the different government parastatals that are more like overseeing those different regions, right? So it has to come to a point where I'm able to work closely with a particular ministry or particular parastatal or district council that is providing the services to those, to see how I can get my innovation out there, whichever innovation that I might have that I might have to offer. How can I easily put it out there? How can I work closely with those different district councils to put in place the policies that can support those people in the rural areas.
Yeah. So I just thought about something right now, and you touched on it. What are some of the regulatory, because you are building a solution.
Yeah.
Remember? So you are building a solution, and it's something that is, this is AI, and this is something that's new. What are have you run into any regulatory challenges so far? And if so, what are they?
I think just one thing that we need to know is that...
Because I know a lot of innovators are watching this and they're like, okay, we want to build, but...
One thing that you need to know is that AI is not new. AI has been around for ages.
Yeah.
So even way before I was born, just that...
Way before you were born?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I was born in 98, so I'm only 26, right?
Yeah.
AI has been around way before that. Just that it's only becoming like the it thing. Just as of now, when people bumped into like your GPTs, that's what they call AI, but there's a lot of, it is AI itself, it's an AI solution, but there's a lot of other AI solutions that are out there. But when it comes to like the regulations, just a couple of months back, we had a session with the Ministry of Communications, Knowledge and Technology around, there were other sessions around cybersecurity, other sessions around data protection and the different AI policies, right? So some of the things that were touched was on how AI can be regulated without necessarily
stifling the innovation,
the different innovators, right? So it has to come to a point where, as an innovator, I'm bringing an innovation to space, pay attention to the privacy policies, to data protection acts, and not necessarily that limiting my innovation. I have to be innovative, but I have to pay attention to that. So I shouldn't worry much about what is it that's going to block me, just from the development phase or the innovation phase of it before the solution can get out there. All those have to be put in place. That's why now the innovators, the data protection lawyers, the government, it has to they have to come together, right, before the solution can get out there.
So currently the ground is good, is ripe.
When it comes to like sub-Saharan Africa, the ground is good, but when it comes to issues like having to resell your data, when it comes to Anon Tech, since we don't trade in data, right? We trade in the different insights. So when you're working with the parastatals, like currently we're working with parastatals like CEDA, Anon Tech doesn't own the data. CEDA doesn't own the data. The data belongs to the farmers. So when you onboard you as a farmer, you already have an account. So it's entirely up to you on whether you want to log in and interact with your data or not. But the data belongs to the farmer. They have their personal data. They generate the data, the different insights that we are using to more like polish the different policies that are already in play. All those different insights that we use, it comes from the data that is owned by the farmers. So we don't own the data. There are some data, some data points that you own, like when you go out there for scouting, we're collecting that data ourselves. But if you have a farmer onboarding onto our platform and inputting their data, because we even have the different solutions where they can auto-generate their reports, they can log their day-to-day activities to generate those reports. So we are basically just trying to streamline those to to give them the insights on how they can better do the day-to-day activities. But we are not taking that data and putting it on our end and saying Anon Tech owns this data. No,
Right.
The data belongs to the farmers.
Yeah.
So we don't trade with the data. We don't resell that personal data. Same way, like we've made it easy for people to interact with the WhatsApp agent. It's just a simple phone number. I mean, you could develop a standalone mobile application, publish it to Google Play Store, App Store, and for people to download it. But even for me as an innovator, I'm too lazy to download any mobile applications, right? It's easy for... It seems like easy to integrate on something that's already existing. You already have the different social media platforms. So why not integrate onto something that you already have on your end? So the ground itself is good. Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, the AI...
But if you had a magic wand right now, just
for
whatever the ground, the infrastructure, anything, the enabling environment, is there anything that you'd wish could be done?
I think the infrastructure itself, even our internet connectivity, is not that stable. Like taking satellite imagery, for example. Satellite imagery comes in very high quality. Even the drone imagery, you could shoot up to 4K and 8K. So processing the data around that. So when it comes to, there's something called edge AI or edge computing. So when it comes to edge AI, that basically means when I'm out there in a farm collecting the data, what kind of processing am I doing while I'm still at the farm, while I'm still collecting the data, right? Not necessarily, because on a normal day-to-day basis, you take your drone, go to the farm, collect data, go back to office, process that to get insights. But there's a certain level of processing that happens at the farm itself, while the drone is still up there, while the drone is still in flight. That processing that happens, that's what you call edge computing.
Okay.
So, yeah. So I think the different infrastructures that could be put in play when doing edge computing in some of those very remote areas, it can be a bit difficult because the connectivity is not that stable, and those are that's like the major challenge. About 2 years back, we got into a partnership with Orange Botswana when Orange was launching the 5G technology here.
Right.
So we got to test the 5G technology with the different use cases that we had processing the satellite imagery. Because with the amount of data that we have, that we use to process, for me to be able to give you a response when doing disease detection, I need to have trained my model on thousands of millions of pictures. But for me to train that on those pictures, it takes quite some time. Right? So it can take... Just with the internet connectivity speed that we have, it can take up to a day just still training a model to be able to extract the different data points, to learn the patterns in the different images that we use. Because we can have like over 500,000, over 1 million pictures just training the
So we need
the
faster
model.
internet.
Yeah, so we need faster internet for the models to be able to learn faster through that, but we don't want overfitting. It's like, when it comes to overfitting, it's like one of the technical terms when it comes to like AI and machine learning training the model. So when it comes to overfitting, this is where now when you're training your model doesn't learn the patterns in the different data that you have. If it's like textual data or image data, instead of your model learning the different patterns, it instead memorizes those patterns. So it doesn't necessarily learn and understand what exactly happening in those. So it just memorizes. If I'm saying this is a locust, it memorizes the picture of a locust. It doesn't learn the patterns around what exactly,
like the abdomen, what
exactly, what exactly constitutes as a locust, right? So we need a lot of pictures. If you're not using enough data sets for that, you're going to face that issue, overfitting. But you don't want your model to memorize the data. It needs to learn those patterns for it to be able to act autonomously when asking those questions, to understand. That's when our natural language processing comes into play. The different questions that you sent, that you send to the model, it needs to be able to understand that and bring together, generate an answer for you, not basically give you something that was already stored, that it has memorized that. So you need a lot of data for that. You need a lot of pictures for you to train a model for that. But using those pictures, that means you need stable enough connectivity for that.
Yeah,
so
for it
like
to
you said,
be-
if I had a magic wand,
Hey.
the first thing that I would change in sub-Saharan Africa was we
But
started
what
here.
is faster internet? Just give us like a ballpark.
When it comes to faster, that's subjective, depending on the different use cases
Claro,
that you
Honana,
have.
if we're saying the internet is not as fast, how would we want it to be fast? How fast would it be so that it's able to lend this as quickly as possible in their time range, so that it doesn't take a day like you said it would take?
I mean, on our end, looking at the infrastructure that we have, we only have, like I know BUs right now has somewhat, I wouldn't say like very good internet, but in the case of like being in Botswana, it's one of the best. It can reach up to like 1.5 gigs per second. So that, it's okay. It's not like top of the range.
Yeah.
But in the country, it's okay. So we could have, if we could have something that's much better than that at like a homestead, that could be better for us to retrain these models. Like currently, we started here in Kgabeng, Botswana, but we also have I have a team that have been, two of my co-founders are in Dublin, Ireland, right? So our services we need to provide. We don't want to relocate all our services. We're always going to be here. We're always going to provide Botswana and Africa with the different services that we have, for as much as we're also tackling the European market. The European market, when it comes to that, first, the magic wand was to change the infrastructure. The second thing would be the adoption rate, man. The adoption rate can be a problem. You can have a very good solution that you're trying to put out there, fully fledged end to end. But when you get into the market, I think that's one thing that
What's
innovators...
the problem though? Are we afraid of change? Are we
That's
afraid
the
of
thing.
newer technologies?
The very first thing being afraid. I think, as Africans, we kind of like the comfort zone, you know. Even when trying to bring a new piece of tech to the space, we are way too comfortable with what we have. That's why in most cases, we are not innovators. In most cases, we are adopters of the different technologies. So if you have someone from an African country, or even, I'm not being political here, but if you have someone from, like, take an innovator from Botswana coming up with something that's very new to the market, the adoption rate is very slow when it comes to that as compared to the European
Even
market.
if it's a good solution.
Even if it's a good solution. So early last year, we were in Copenhagen, in Denmark, through the Creative Business Cup.
Yeah,
That's
I saw
when
that.
we got to meet a lot of innovators in the European region, establish our footprint in the European region. So late last year, I was also in the UAE. I was in Dubai attending COP28. I got to have conversations with the different innovators from all over the world to see how they do their things. Because for as much as Anon Tech is doing something different here, it's not something entirely new. It's something that was implemented somewhere else. We just bring in the different components that are already existing, bringing them together into one thing to
Tailor-making it
provide
to this
you
market.
one solution that is streamlined, right? So through those different trips that we've had all over the world, you get to understand how people do their things, even their work culture, how people develop their solutions, get their solutions out there. Take one European country, for example, like Estonia. Estonia, over 99% of their government services are online. You can literally marry someone online and divorce them online.
That's crazy.
That's how advanced they are.
Yeah.
So it's not like we don't have the expertise to do something like that. Those solutions already exist. I have friends in the tech space that were developing solutions while I was still in high school, while I was still in junior school. There's some of the solutions that have been put out there, maybe as contracts and all. Those are solutions that already exist. Just that our adoption rate is very slow. We take 5-10 years to catch up to something that has been that's already in the market. So the other thing that I will change will be our adoption rate, because we have a lot of solutions that are ready to be put out there in the market. But also for us as innovators, we have to be agile enough around everything that we do. I can build a very good solution that I feel like is good as an engineer, right? When I put it in the market wants something else. So I have to be agile enough for me to plug out that feature that the market doesn't want and put in something that the market needs while the platform is already there. If it's a mobile application, you don't want cases where you have to take down your entire app app from the app store and publish a new one. No, it has to be scalable to a point where you can plug out something, plug in something while your application is already operational.
Right.
So I think it does work for the people that put the policies in place. It has to be conducive for the innovators. The innovators, it has to be conducive for the market. The market isn't always going to agree with you. You are going to face challenges in the market. But you said you want
So the
to be
market
an
can be wrong.
entrepreneur, right? The market is lethal, man. That's the thing.
market can be, but you essentially what you're saying is the market can look at a solution that's presented and not adopt it, not knowing that it's what they needed.
That's not necessarily, but the thing is, the one mistake that we make as innovators is I'm an engineer myself. So I develop a solution as an engineer. I consult with my engineer friends. They agree with me that this feature is good, but I'm not developing that feature for engineers.
Yeah.
You know, I'm developing that feature for people who are not tech savvy. So it has to. If you're developing that solution for me as an accountant or as an unemployed youth who has never touched, the only piece of technology that I've interacted with was my smartphone and my laptop at tertiary institution.
Yeah.
So when I'm receiving that software solution, I have to be able to figure out my way without having to consult with any other technical person. It has to be straightforward, right? A lot of people right now are able to just create Facebook accounts, figure out what's happening on Facebook, and interact with it up until the point where they want to deactivate or delete their Facebook account, right? So it has to be in a similar way, developed for the market, not for your engineers. So put your market. So first, you need to solve the problem. Way before you can go back to being an engineer, solve the problem first, then write the code. Don't write the code and try to solve the problem after.
You're putting the cart before the horse.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get that. And so what you said about adoption rate and even just, us learning to coexist with this technology and really immerse it into our day-to-day, because I think there's also somewhere along we're probably not... or probably we there weren't many contact points that an individual, the average person would have with, just technology and just dealing with smartphones and all this. You have spoken in schools. You promote a lot of STEM. What are some of the work that you are trying to promote to try to build this culture of innovation in Botswana and in the diaspora?
I think trying to introduce, but I think the government has a bit of mileage on that already, but basically introducing STEM even from a primary school level. Because like taking me, for example, the junior school that I went to, it didn't really have like computer studies as a subject. Even in high school, the high school, the subject was there, but I didn't do computer studies, right? But my first interaction with coding, I was doing Form 1. It was so I was playing basketball, and then my basketball coach's son was, I'm not sure the exact course that they said it, but he did say he was in IT, so he was interning in the school. He introduced the club. I got to lead the programming club. So I got to interact with Python, understand what programming is. So that's what kind of sparked the interest when it comes to programming. But when it comes to problem solving and engineering, that's something I was always interested in. So one of the options that I had to choose was like design and technology. I was the best in school when it comes to that. So I was always into like problem solving and engineering. Right?
That's actually a flex. You said it quickly. Yeah, carry on, man.
Yeah. But I feel like introducing those computers and STEM at a primary school level could help spark the interest. Like having primary school students understand the capabilities because I think right now, almost, if I'm not mistaken, almost all the government schools have, the students have laptops, right?
Yeah.
So students have to get to a point where they understand the capabilities of that laptop. So it's not just about studying and watching movies. What else can they do? What else can they learn that's like outside the day-to-day curriculum? So I think introducing those to the school, not just coding itself, because there's a lot of careers around STEM. It's not just about coding.
True.
So introducing those at a primary school level could help spark that interest. But obviously growing up, they might branch out into different things. But the way everything is moving right now, everything is moving towards like AI powered something, big data. There's a lot of talks around that. So in a way, for as much as people
Everyone
might
sounds
want
fancy
to,
with AI.
exactly,
Yeah.
So for as much as we might try to avoid it or try to run away from it, at some point we are going to need to understand, not necessarily using it on a day-to-day basis, but understanding what you're dealing with, providing your kid with options growing up. If they want to like go all in, be coding, build the next Mark Zuckerberg, these are the opportunities to do that. I mean, growing up, we didn't have those opportunities. I mean, if you are underprivileged, you won't use a laptop until you get to like tertiary school. And at that point, a lot of people have already outgrown those different stages.
Yeah.
A lot of people have already progressed. But
You've
the
already
way it
built
is
also
right
interests
now,
that are far
so
from
if you
this.
could spark that interest from a primary school level, you could provide a lot of options. So it's not just about being talented in because a lot of people have like different talents across different stuff. If they want to, not necessarily messing up the laptops, but if they're interested in hardware, you could show them how you can do it.
Look at how you came and into Anton.
Yeah.
You were solving for a solution.
Exactly.
I think for the younger generation, it would be easier if they're given we want to create a solution that can solve this problem.
Yeah.
That's what builds that even that mental elasticity to start to think outside of what you have been thinking on a day-to-day.
Outside the 8-subject or the 9-subject curriculum that
you start
they
to
have.
now build that, not just even using the platform, but knowing how to build the platform.
Because as far as I understand it right now, a lot of public schools or the government schools don't have computer studies as a subject up until you get to high school or tertiary school. That's where you have, but not everyone gets that privilege of studying computer studies, right? So a lot of them don't get to really understand the different capabilities or the extent to which they can really get much into tech through those different pieces of technology that they have. Even the smartphone. A lot of people don't understand the capabilities that they have. Some of them is just like day-to-day texting, calling, pictures, that's it. But if you could spark that interest from someone who doesn't have who already they have, I mean, they a lot of the government schools have internet, they have the laptops, so they already have the resources that they need just for the different policies and even the teachers themselves, because those are the people who deal directly with the students. So training those trainers and for them to impart that knowledge onto the students. They could start paving a way. So you could start paving a way. So when someone gets to my age, they already have like a couple of options to consider.
Your young ripe age. We're actually the same age, man. As we wrap this up, I wanted to understand in your world right now, is there any measurable impact that you could let us know, okay, you have done this and this and this so far? And also just let us know about, the 4th of July.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes,
so before I forget about it, so we're actually launching, we'll be making it like public out there. We're actually launching Anon Tech and Project Anton.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man. So
yes,
on the 4th of July, we'll be at the Botswana Digital and Innovation Hub. We'll have the different ministries. In Kgabeng. We'll have the different ministries, the different parastatals around the technology space, around the agriculture space, who will be there present, innovators, the different companies will be there. So we'll be showcasing exactly what we have as Anon Tech, what is it that we're offering to the market, and our vision actually, what is it that we're planning to do with the pieces of tech that we have. So that's what will be happening on the
If you are a farmer, you can't miss this.
Definitely.
You can't. Yeah,
so
man.
We'll make the news I think when the episode airs, it'll be public.
No, definitely. It'll come out before the 4th of July.
Yeah. But in terms of the measurable impact, the way we measure our impact at Anon Tech, our main focus, or the first thing that's we focus on is problem solving, right? If we are a farmer, because those are our primary users, but we have other customer segments. If I'm able to solve that particular pest problem that you have, if I'm able to give you those precision farming insights that you might have to optimize the resource usage in your farm, to give you the insights around climate resilient practices that you have. If I'm able to give you those insights and they give you the result that you're looking for, those are the KPIs that we're looking at on our end. So for Anton Tech just started generating revenue recently. So for the past 3 years, we are working on refining the solution, working closely with the different customer segments that we have out there. So the main focus was on making the product be suitable for the users that we have before generating revenue. So we only have a couple of months. So we just started recently. We've been working for the past 2 years. We've been working closely with Cedar to refine the solution. Because Cedar works closely with those farmers. So they understand the problems that the farmers have. They have the different insights, the different data points that we need for us to provide our solutions out there. So if I'm able to solve that particular problem for a farmer and the farmer is happy, that's what makes us happy.
I think that's another thing that people don't understand about this journey, that you have to actually be in it for some time.
Exactly.
Without even seeing stuff come, this
you are going to spend without anything coming in. For some time, you're going to spend a whole lot of money.
Yeah. So last question, man, for you. How do you want to be remembered as Tumo Kgabeng?
My journey, the way it has been, the way I see it, I need to bring
Elon Musk BW.
So I need to bring value to what I'm touching. So it actually works hand in hand with the different KPIs that we work with at Anon Tech. So if I'm able to, not just in the agriculture space, so whichever software solution, because I'm still a software engineer, I'm a systems engineer. I've worked in the corporate space. I've worked for different companies, even in CBD. So for the different software solutions that I put out there, for the different innovations that I put out there, if I'm able to solve those problems for the users, that's why I'm happy. So I've worked on different platforms like your water utilities platform, your Safalana platform. So a lot of platforms that a lot of users might have used out there. I've worked on different platforms that are used by millions of users.
Tumo Kgabeng was here.
Something like that. Dope. So it's engineering itself and innovation itself. This one journey that me personally, I feel like it doesn't have a destination, man. That's something that you do every single day, whether you're sleeping, whether you're up being on your machine. That's, I feel like to some extent it did corrupt me, because now it's like almost every piece of tech that I look, I'll get, okay, what is it built of? If there's a problem out there, that's when now we tap into mind mapping, we tap into design thinking, enterprise design thinking. How can we break this down into those smaller chunks? Then how can we solve those different chunks that kind of constitute to that one big problem that you have? So my journey right now is around problem solving. If I'm able to solve the problems out there, that whichever piece of tech that I'm working on, that's why I'm happy.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate it, man.
That's why I'm happy. Yeah? That's the man, ladies and gentlemen. Tumo Kgabeng was in the building. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and you have found value in it as much as I have found it. I actually need to rewatch it around 3 times to really understand the gist of what he was talking about. And so, ladies and gentlemen, definitely get in contact with him. Get in touch with them. They are launching something amazing on the July 4th. Make sure you are there so you benefit from this, especially if you are a farmer, if you're in the space of agriculture. This is your time. We have the innovators here. We have all it takes right here in the land of opportunity, BW. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we same time, same place next week. Be great. Thank you guys for watching this episode. We really hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Deep Dive is dedicated to bringing you the most comprehensive and engaging information about business, personal finance, and personal development. Make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated with all our latest content. If you like this video, give it a like to show your support and help us reach a wider audience. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and your family who may be interested. Sharing helps us grow our community and connect with like-minded individuals. Leave a comment below and give us your biggest takeaway on this episode. If you're interested in being a part of our live studio audiences, make sure to register for the next show. Can't make it to the show? no problem. Check out our Patreon page to watch the full episode and get exclusive access to more great content. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Deep Dive.